Why love fails. Even when feelings are real, love didn't fail because the feelings were fake. In fact, the feelings were the most real thing between them. They were the kind that showed up without permission. Late-night conversations that stretched until dawn. Quiet smiles across crowded rooms, and a sense of comfort that felt like coming home. Everyone around them could see it. They laughed easily, argued softly, and held each other with a familiarity that usually takes years to build. If love were only about emotion, they would have lasted forever. But love is not just a feeling, it is also timing. When they met, both were in the middle of becoming someone else. One was chasing stability, afraid of repeating past mistakes, while the other was chasing dreams, unwilling to slow down for anything. They promised to grow together, but secretly, they were growing in opposite directions. Every conversation about the future ended with gentle silence, not because they didn't care, but because neither wanted to admit they wanted different things. Slowly, misunderstandings replaced excitement. Not dramatic fights, just small moments that went unresolved. Messages took longer to reply to. Plans were postponed. "I'm tired" became more common than "I miss you." They still loved each other deeply, but love alone couldn't translate what they felt into what they needed. One needed reassurance. The other needed space. Instead of understanding this difference, they started seeing it as rejection. They tried harder, which only made it worse. One gave more time, more effort, more emotion, hoping it would fix the distance. The other felt suffocated, guilty for not being able to give the same energy back. Love turned into pressure. Every "I love you" carried an unspoken question. Is this enough to make you stay? And when love becomes a test, it stops feeling safe. Past wounds also played their part. Old betrayals, childhood fears, and broken trust from previous relationships silently entered the room. One person learned to protect themselves by pulling away. The other learned to cling tighter when afraid. Neither behavior was wrong. They were survival strategies. But together, they created a cycle of chasing and distancing that love couldn't break. Communication slowly turned into assumptions. Instead of asking, they guessed. Instead of listening, they defended. They spoke the same language but heard different meanings. A simple sentence could feel like criticism, and silence felt louder than words. They were no longer fighting about the present. They were fighting ghosts from the past and fears of the future. There was also the quiet realization that love doesn't erase incompatibility. Values, priorities, and emotional needs matter. One believed love should be calm and steady. The other believed love should be intense and expressive. Neither was wrong, but they were different. Love made them try to meet in the middle, but the middle kept moving, leaving both exhausted. The end didn't come suddenly. It arrived in pieces: missed calls, forced smiles, and the growing sense of loneliness even when they were together. The hardest part was that nothing was bad enough to blame. There was no villain, no betrayal, no dramatic goodbye. Just two people who loved each other but couldn't make life fit around that love. When they finally let go, it wasn't because the feelings died. It was because holding on hurt more than walking away. Love failed not because it wasn't real, but because real love still needs understanding, timing, communication, and compatibility to survive. Feelings can start a relationship, but they can't carry it alone. And long after it ended, they both learned the same truth in different ways. Sometimes love doesn't fail. It teaches. It shows you what you need, what you fear, and what you deserve. And sometimes the most real love you feel is not meant to stay, but to change you forever.